Hey y'all, welcome back to the city of Waterloo. We are on the Seven Lakes map, and in this series we are strategically using what's available on console to create a city with distinct neighborhoods and paying very close attention to density. Today we're going to be using the newish shopping malls DLC, which is another great content creator backed by KingLeno, and yeah, let's just get into it here. So one issue that we have happening in the city right now is that we have all of our industry, forestry and fishing on this one side of the city along the coast or along the shore here, and a lot of that industrial traffic is coming through the city. So I'm gonna create a different route along the other edge, a smaller highway, but first I need to create an exit from this highway that runs to the city and then ends. This is the only highway that comes into the city. It doesn't continue after it reaches the city either. It's kind of a unique, one of the unique maps, vanilla maps in the game, in that it's just the only highway that comes into the city. It really hasn't become a problem yet, but I just want to fix it now before it does become an issue. Alright, time to see if it worked. And it did! This oil truck has got a new route around the city. Perfect. Alright, before we work on building the new mall, I'm gonna continue to work a little bit on this Bedford neighborhood. We are using the University City content creator pack over here, and my goal is to use the content creator pack in the exact opposite way as I used it for in the last episode. So Bedford is a neighborhood that hasn't seen a lot of investment. It's a lower income neighborhood, and so I'm purposely demolishing and waiting for the right sorts of commercial buildings to come up, and that'll make them historic before they level up and start looking really nice. Over in Beechwood, I did the opposite. I make the buildings historic once they reach that higher end looking building, before they reach level 5 and turn into a completely different style. So these are beautiful homes over here, but it's kind of I'm looking for the opposite effect over in Bedford Square. So over here I'm making these buildings historic, you know, as they're like level 1 or level 2. And the way that this is going to turn out is going to be very realistic to the way many American cities look. The cycle of poverty, the lasting effects of redlining and other forms of racist housing practices in the US definitely still have a major impact on the differences between neighborhoods like this in this country. So we're gonna build the new mall over here next to Bedford, South Shore Mall. And to get started, I want to adjust the terrain a bit. This whole map is very flat. It's a little boring. There's a lot of lakes that get in the way. But yeah, I just want to adjust the variation of the topography a little before we get started to add a little more, a little more interest in the elevation. So one thing I really love about the mall that's included with this creator pack is that long sort of domed skylight at the top of the building. I think it's perfect. I mean, it's exactly like the malls that I'm used to around where I live. It's, yeah, perfect. Such a perfect detail for that building. So now I'm going to start sort of sorting out the way I want to configure the parking lots and roads that run around the mall. I feel that a lot of malls like this tend to have some kind of road that, kind of loops the actual main mall structure. So I'm trying to incorporate that into the way that I build this area here. Malls like this is, in the US, have a ton of parking, a lot more parking than I would want to really build. But I want to go with a little more realism here and try to build out the parking like I think it actually might be built if this mall was placed in this area. So I messed around with this configuration a bit. Some of it I didn't actually show on camera or whatever. But I really want to get this massive parking lot just right. So of course it's really bugging me that these parking lots aren't lined up very well. They're kind of crooked because this road is curved. But a trick I learned, probably from someone else on YouTube, is to just draw out that road straight, place the number of lots you want, delete the road, and then you can draw in the road over again, and they will still line up with the road fine, but you won't have those lots placed in like a very messy, crooked looking manner. Are you seeing this guy here? They're parked on the street instead of within the massive parking lot. One thing I really do on occasion love about this silly little game is just how ridiculous some of those mechanics are. Like, why did someone come to that parking lot and then just park alongside it on the road? So I had to change all those roads to have wide sidewalks so that people won't be parking on them when they're supposed to be like the drive aisles in the parking lots. Okay, on to some detailing. Let's plant some stuff.
We see a car coming right down the middle there, Mark, on one of those streets there that you can see that has been flooded, and this has been a concern. Now they're on some dry pavement.
Waterloo is supposed to be set in the Midwestern part of the U.S., and with more intense rain events that we've been seeing lately, it got me thinking about adding in some green infrastructure to help with potential flooding issues. Of course, it's not actually going to flood here in the game, but I want to put in some rain gardens anyway. So I'm doing this by making just a little ditch here that water would naturally flow to, and we would fill it with native grasses and vegetation that would help absorb and naturally filter that runoff. I think most cities today have some sort of requirements to address stormwater runoff and flooding, and so I'm going to incorporate some of those areas into this mall area, especially just because of the amount of impervious surface area for this gigantic parking lot. If you've held on this long, thank you. Like, subscribe, comment. Let's roll the cinematics. If you're new to my channel, I play on console with the mouse and keyboard, and my builds focus on trying to create distinct, realistic neighborhoods, trying to add in some realism to the game. I also tend to add in some commentary about city planning and social issues as well to inform my cities. So if you like that kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button for more and tell me what you think about this build.